Hello, Miss Velasquez.
What's up, guys?
We're doing great. Just ate some dinner and about to pour some wine and have a good chat with you.
Oh my gosh. It's like pre-Valentine's Day party.
Well, I
Yeah.
did pick her up some flowers and chocolate-covered strawberries
I
today.
saw that. I was like,
Yeah,
you're doing good. You're doing
thank you, thank you.
good.
I
Proud
tried.
boyfriend moments.
And then I gotta
Yes.
take her to the aquarium tomorrow and Top Golf.
Oh my gosh. That's the best. You guys are gonna have so much fun. That's exciting.
Have you been to the new Top Golf yet?
So I haven't been to it. I honestly I went out to the mall 2 weeks ago with my mom and I was like, when did this get here? So I was like, I haven't been over here in so long. I knew it was there. I just didn't know where it was in North Charleston.
Yeah.
So I was just like shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, they put that up so fast. So I'm
Yeah.
pumped to get out there, but I heard the wait is like ridiculously long right now.
Speaking of that, we need to see if we can even get a time on Tuesday because apparently
Tomorrow?
yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, we're probably not going to get it tomorrow. Yeah. Because we're half off on
No,
Tuesdays
I
too.
just like
So
ruined all the fun. I'm so sorry.
yeah, you did. Well, it looks like
That's the truth.
look like we'll be having a movie night.
That's fun too. That's fun too.
Um, are you from Charleston originally, Kat?
So I'm from Columbia, so I'm like an hour and a half away. 2 hours, not an
Okay.
hour, two
At what
hours.
point did you move to Charleston?
I moved to Charleston, God, I guess 2021, beginning like January 2021. So, 2 years now, pretty much.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Are you downtown?
I am. I am. I'm downtown. I'm over in West Edge. So,
Nice.
yeah, I got the Publix downstairs, which is amazing. So,
Yes.
we're
So
over
I'm
here.
gonna answer a couple of yes, we just started the live and we are live with singer Kat Velasquez. She has an absolutely incredible voice.
Thank you.
Kat opened up for Frank Ray at a concert. We have a mutual friend, Carson Terrell, and we met
Yes.
there. And yeah, how long have you known Carson?
Oh my gosh. I've known Carson for years. It's so funny because I used to girl crush over Carson because we did pageants at the same time. And fun fact about me, I did pageants. Not a pageant girl, but did them. Didn't enjoy it, but we did it. Um I enjoyed the friends that I made, I'll say that. But so I would like girl over her when she was Miss Folly Beach. Like I remember I was like just like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. And then when I moved to Charleston, it was just kind of like, I don't know, it's so weird the way Charleston is. Like you run into people and then, you see them on social media and you're like, I know of you. And then we just hung out one Sunday. We had like a Sunday fun day at Uptown together randomly. And then we became best friends. And she's been, one of my best friends since.
Yeah,
So
Carson's awesome.
she's the
So,
best. She's the sweetest.
so whenever you're doing pageants, did you just use your talent of singing whenever you got there, or
That's literally,
were you
that's
juggling?
if I could juggle, that would be amazing. But if I could sing and juggle at the same time, no.
Well, hey, you might. That's how you can get noticed on here. You can start
Oh my
juggling
god,
tennis balls and singing at the same time.
is that how people get TikTok famous? Because like it's impossible. You figured it out, but no. I only did pageants because I wanted to sing. It was like I didn't really know of another outlet at that time. And so I just was like, I want to sing and I want to perform. And um, early on in my life, I did, theater. I was in a lot of, plays growing up, but then I started doing pageants and, I loved it. I just, I made, I loved it because I made so many friends. Like I have friends. I did Miss South Carolina for 3 years. So I have friends all over South Carolina and girls that I can literally just call on for anything. And yeah, so it's like a sisterhood. But
Is that how you
but
met
also,
Jessica?
I don't like competing. I don't like the whole cattiness of it. I think that was hard for me because I grew up with three older brothers. So like when girls started being mean in like middle school, I was like, well, what is happening? You know? So yeah. So and I was definitely like really tough because I grew up with three older brothers. So I think that was a little different. But um other than that, I loved doing pageants and I loved singing and performing and that kind of I'm thankful for it because I think it grew me as an artist that could help me get to where I am now.
Did you meet Davia doing pageants too?
I did.
So,
Like literally all my friends. I'm actually gonna be with them tonight because it's the episode of The Bachelor. So
yeah. So for everybody watching, one of her best friends, Davia, is on The Bachelor right now. I
yeah,
assume she's doing pretty well. They've already gone through like first cuts. I've never watched The Bachelor, so I know they hand out
yeah,
roses. Is all I know.
yeah. So she's trying to convince me to do it, and I'm like, no.
Why
So
not? Why
Why
not?
I don't
not?
know. Never say never, but um, I don't know. It's definitely an experience. You know what I mean? It's like I think being away from family and friends and like civilization for however long and just having cameras in your face definitely freaks me out a little bit. And I also would be afraid of taking away from my music for such a long period of time. But never say never. You never know
You
because
You could do Love is
everyone.
Blind. It's only 10 days that you're away from everything.
never
And then I have to get married at the end.
Well, yeah, and yeah.
Yeah, no, I honestly like could see myself being like 32 and being like, let's just do Love is Blind. Let's just see how it goes.
By the
No,
way, we
but
had a few comments on our end. If you're new to doing lives with somebody else, you can't see our side of the comments and we can't see yours. But several people are saying how beautiful you are.
aw,
And then somebody else also knows your friend Davi from the show. They said that they're one of her favorite, or she's one of her favorites.
yeah, she's the best. She is. It's
So
so funny watching with her. It's like it's so weird because it's like she's cringing at herself and we're all just like, wait, but it's so you. Like it's so great. You know what I mean? It's so funny. Um, I don't know. I don't know how it works, but I think she got a good edit. I don't know if that's how it works, but I was like, you seem super positive and fun and she looks beautiful. So I don't know. We're just friends supporting friends in
that's
whatever
awesome.
venture they do.
So, at what point did you start deciding to chase singing as a career?
Yeah, so this is a crazy story, but I actually 2020 I this is a like series of unfortunate events for me that
Mm.
turned into a beautiful thing, which is my music career. I was almost engaged to this guy, and we were going to move to Pittsburgh, of all places. And then we broke up in October. Like a week later, I got COVID on my 23rd birthday. And it was just like a really tough time. But that whole year, there were so many ups and downs with like family and relationships that I was journaling a lot. And I had pretty much stopped music in all forms.
Mm.
And then I started leading worship in church.
Mm.
And I was also journaling a lot about like things I was going through in my personal life. And I remember my first song, it's called Cliche Country Song.
Mhm.
So
It's a good one. I like that one.
yeah, so this is crazy because I was sitting on the porch swing that he built me, like in my front porch. And I was like waiting to hear like his truck pull up. Like I thought he was just gonna come over and like we are gonna fix things, you know what I mean? And it never did. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cliche. Like this is a cliche country song. And then I wrote it on the porch swing that night. And I actually like took me 2 months to show it to my parents. And when I like sang it for them, they were like, whose song is that? I was like, it's my song. Like they did not believe me. And they're like, okay, well, you need to record this. This is like something special. And then I started recording and the song came to life. And then here we are. I just kept writing and recording and pursuing the dream.
That's awesome. So your parents are very supportive of you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, absolutely. They're the best, really. I'm very, very thankful for them. My mom was a vocal major in college, so she is an unreal soprano singer. She's amazing. And then my dad has been singing in church since I can remember. So definitely, and my brother is a professional dancer, so definitely an artistic family. Like they're very
Like the
supportive.
dancers, baby. Let's go.
I know you need to. Oh my gosh, you need to meet James. I don't know why I've never thought of this.
Would love to.
He's got to come out to the honky tonk. He would literally live. He would thrive.
We're waiting on you to come back.
I need to. Oh my gosh. I've literally been watching your videos and I'm like, I feel like sometimes I'm like, I just need to like learn them and then come in there and just like showstopper. You know what I mean? Like just
Okay,
know
okay,
everything.
okay. Just come hang out with us.
Yeah.
Give us a couple hours one night.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll come over for The Bachelor. We'll give you a
Oh,
run
yeah.
through.
Oh
And
my
we'll
gosh,
watch The
please.
Bachelor afterwards. Yeah.
You guys are amazing. Like I am
Thank-
mesmerized by, and I love you guys.
You're
You
too kind. You've been very sweet since the day we met.
guys.
And you picked up dancing really fast yourself. My first time dancing with you, you picked it up pretty fast.
Yeah, I used to dance back in the day. So, and then,
Is there anything you can't do?
I
So
can't, I
you're
can't
pretty.
juggle.
You
We
can
figured,
sing. You can
She
dance.
can't juggle. She can't
You
juggle.
can't juggle. Okay, I'm sorry. You can't juggle.
Are you sure? Have you tried?
I actually have, unfortunately. Like that's the sad part.
Well, I
'Cause I
can't sing.
really have.
So I need some lessons. I can't sing at all.
Well, I can help you with that. I can help you
But
with that
yeah,
for sure.
please. And for everybody who's new, this is singer Kat Velasco. She has an incredible voice. Would definitely recommend looking her up on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your music. She has an amazing voice. So you did do your music video. Call Me was on CMT.
Yes, yes.
Really well. That song is, what's the word I'm looking for? It just gets stuck in my head. If I listen to it for like 3 days, then afterwards I'm just like, call me, call me. It's just
Oh
stuck
my
in my
gosh.
head.
I know. I was like, I like when I first recorded it and I was playing it for my family, like everyone in my family was like walking around, like humming it, singing it, and filming the music video was amazing. And then it getting on CMT so quickly was, I mean, all of that was just so surreal for me. It was crazy. But
So
it's cool.
how do you get that music video on CMT? Does you like put an application in or?
So actually, I had been in contact with someone from CMT prior, but then Jeff, I don't know if you know Jeff. He works with Frank Gray. He's his publicist. So
Because I know who he is. I did not talk to Frank. I mean, I did not talk to him. I talked to Frank directly. Frank's awesome.
right. He was there that night too.
Mm-hmm.
But he actually like we didn't even really know each other that well, but he reached out to me on Instagram and was like, "Oh my gosh, your music video is killer. I hope you don't mind." I sent it over to my friend at CMT and I was like, I don't mind at all. Thank you so much.
So all that happened before you opened up for him?
Yeah.
Or was that afterwards?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it was before because we got the confirmation before I opened. And he was like, I mean, I just thought it was a great video. I thought, why not? And he was like, usually it takes a little bit, you have to like send in a couple. Since they don't know who you are, like it might not be this one, but it could be another one. But I mean, it was literally like within days I had confirmation that it was going to be on there in the next week. And I was like, I didn't even have time to really, think it over. I was just like, oh my gosh, it's insane. It was like, it's just always been a dream of mine, obviously. So it was surreal.
Yeah, it's a great day. Frank, of course, that night, I mean, you were there. I mean, he's such a nice guy. His entire band, everybody is so nice.
God, and they keep in contact with me like weekly, which is so cool. I'm going to see them at Country Radio Seminar in March, and because Frank's getting an award for like as a new artist, and so I'm gonna go see all of them and get to reconnect with them. But they're just a like solid family, and they look out for each other and they have fun, and it's like that is exactly what you want to see opening for an artist. You know what I mean? You want to see that like, unity in a band. It's just really, it was really cool.
Well, whenever Tara and I started, our podcast, he was one of the first people I messaged out. I mean, he's a member of the Grand Ole Opry, and I just messaged him, and I was like, "Hey, hope you remember meeting me at Honky Tonk, but I would love to have you on my show." He's like, "Absolutely, dude, I'd love to." And I was
like, my gosh, yeah, he's just like such a nice, like salt of the earth, very kind, down to earth,
fun. Yeah, just a fun person.
He's so fun. I know, like they were taking so many shots with us that I was like, I have to go home. Like I'm not okay.
And then he came back out and he was like, I think you already left. He came back and sang karaoke while we were line dancing. He came back out and sang karaoke while we're all line dancing. I don't know how he got through the night, but I was like, this is not normal for a member of his or an artist of his magnitude or anybody. Because there's some of these artists who have nothing going for them and they're so stuck up when you meet them when they perform. And for someone like him, who's already a member of the Grand Ole Opry, to come back out and sing karaoke afterwards, I was like, exactly. And his band, they were out dancing with us. It was great.
Yeah, it just shows how, like, they're real people, and that was, like, a breath of fresh air for me for, like, the first big artist that I've opened for. I was like, wow, like, this is This is really, truly, it's just inspiring.
Well, Annie brought you back on stage to sing "Don't Stop Believing."
Yes, that was crazy. That was so crazy. Jeff told me, he was like, well, don't be surprised if he, calls you up. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I didn't even like think it was real. And then he like came up to me and was like, do you know Don't Stop Believing? And I was like, I didn't even hear what he said. I was just like, yes. It could have been a song I did not know at all. I was just like, absolutely yes. Like, I'm coming up there.
Sounds good. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah.
So you just went to a trip in Honduras, correct?
Yes. I was
there with family?
Yeah, I was there for 8 days. I actually went with my dad, one of my brothers, my uncle, my cousin, and then like 5 male family friends, like their friends. So I was the only girl with 9 guys. And we were scuba diving for 8 days because there's like a rule, and my dad said, he was like, if you get scuba certified, you can come on all the diving trips. And I was like, okay, I would love to come on all the diving trips. So I got scuba certified, and it's been so fun. It really has. It was a great trip.
And you got to sing with the band down there. I saw.
I did, yeah. So my dad and them have been out there like six times to scuba dive. So they have met. I mean, the island is really small where we were on the west end, so they pretty much met everyone, and they became really close with this guy named Luis, who's a fantastic guitar player. Like, he's insane. And they were like, why don't you play with us on Wednesday? And I was like, okay. So, oh, look, you got a hat.
We got some guests. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you guys.
Someone told me to fix my lashes, so I'm just gonna.
What's wrong with the lashes?
Anything wrong?
They look fine to me.
I don't know. I was just like, okay, thanks.
Is it someone you know, or is it a hater? Because there's a lot of haters out there.
There's a lot of haters.
Well, his name is LOL Suck It, so I don't think he's one of my friends.
So speaking of haters, you recently shared a Instagram post that you felt like you were kind of mentally struggling a little bit, and whenever we had our pre-interview meeting, we talked about some things that are going well for you, but you're also struggling with some stuff. So would you mind opening up on that a little bit?
Yeah, of course. I think, kind of what we talked about earlier, just as an artist and honestly, as a person with whatever you do, it's like this whole fake it till you make it attitude and mindset. And that has been extremely hard for me recently because I've just been, going through a lot. I went through a breakup. I've had a lot of like life changes. I've had a past of depression and anxiety, and anybody who struggles with that knows how isolating and lonely that feels. So it's just kind of like I was in Honduras last week, and it was just, I was posting all these amazing posts, and I was like, wow, I'm really struggling deep down, but who am I to say I'm struggling? Like, it looks like who would believe that? Who would even care when it looks like my life is packaged so perfectly? And I think that is just, a lie that we tell ourselves. And so, when I posted, I was just like, it's crazy because I was like, I'm really, really afraid of scuba diving. I'm really, really afraid of flying on airplanes, but I do these things because I'm wanting to conquer my fears, and I'm wanting to get to that next step. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, who am I to be posting all of these things, kind of as like a highlight reel of my life, when in reality, like, I could be helping somebody else. And when I posted that, I did not expect the responses that I got from it. Just that I was struggling, and that, everything looks great, but my mental health has been crumbling. But I feel the need to constantly post and to stay relevant. And, not just because I'm an artist, but also because of like the life we live in now with social media, and so yeah, I just did not expect the responses that I got from people. It was insane. I think I got over 200 people reach out to me, either Instagram, call me, text me, and just check in, but also sharing their stories and telling me that they've been struggling too. And I was like, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, you know, like this is what I want to do as an artist. My favorite thing is when someone is like, your song helped me through something. And so it was like, if I can shed that light and be who I am in every aspect and not do this fake it till you make it thing that we're also conditioned to think that we have to do, then, you know, maybe that will help me, you know, reach more people, not only through my music, but as a human being, you know? So that's kind of the gist of everything.
I think that's beautiful. And no matter where you are in life, no matter how much money you have, no matter what's going on, everybody is struggling with something or has struggled with something that led them up to that point. But I think it's really beautiful that you were able to open up and be real with people. I don't think a lot of people are. They just want to share all of the good stuff, and I think it's hard to connect with people. And also just being true to yourself. You know, my advice to you earlier when we had this conversation was just be comfortable with who you are. And if being open everything and makes you feel comfortable with you, then there's nothing wrong with that. You know, unfortunately, when you do open yourself up, you will open yourself up to some hate, because I'm sure there will be some people who say, hey, well, you have X, Y, and Z going for you, then
So why?
yeah, so why would you bother? That's just sad. I hate it's really frustrating with the internet and how mean people are too. You know, with all the.
But even even that conversation we had today was so helpful, because it was like, okay, you opened up to me about your struggles, and I was like, this is another person that I feel that I can go to. You know what I mean? This is another friend that I feel like I can call on, and that they can call on me, because I was like a real person. And I think, you know, COVID and us all being isolated, and then social media and just the way everything is, and it's just hard to, you know, get like realness from people sometimes. And it really, it shocks you a little bit when you have those conversations. It's like, wow, like that makes me feel so good, you know, like that makes me feel good, makes me feel inspired. It makes me, you know, I said it, I was like, I woke up with a completely new mindset that next morning after I was honest about what I've been going through. Just because I had some mean responses, like,
Of course.
you need to get off Instagram, like talking about this, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, block, you know what I mean? I don't need the energy or the negativity. And yeah, so I just really appreciate you being there for me as well in that moment. Cause it was like, instead of talking about the interview stuff, you were like, wait, how are you first? And that is just really, really important.
Well, I mean, things, and something that she and I really bonded over initially and still go through now. You know, we've both been in the country dance world for years, and you're going to experience this, you know, the larger following you get. And now that you already are an artist, I'm sure you get it sometimes where people just want to talk to you, be friends with you simply because you get to get up on stage and sing in front of thousands of people. Everybody thinks that's cool and it's glamorous, so they just want to be Kat Velasco's friend. But they only want to know Kat Velasco, the artist. They don't get to know, even no matter how great you might go up on stage and kill it, but there might be something at home that's bothering you, or you know, you might be, you know, a family issue or whatever is just going on, like a friendship you might be struggling with, like that might be bothering you. That's not you, and very few people want to get to know you. And the thing that I struggled with whenever my TikTok first started blowing up is, it's so cool. Everybody says growing up, I want to be famous. I want everybody to know who I am. And it's super cool, because at first I'm blowing up and everybody's like, oh dude, I see your TikToks and it's so cool. But then it's all everybody talks to you about. And I'm like, okay, I love dancing, but to me, it's like the fourth most important thing in my life. Like I love sports. I grew up as an athlete, really heavily into stocks. I have a business. Nobody talks about any of those things, and I'm kind of more passionate about like stocks and sports than I am dancing. And it's depressing because it's all anybody talks to you about. So then you have to learn how to compartmentalize it, and you also have to learn to appreciate people, because you want fans and you want people to appreciate the artist side of you, but you just have to learn to compartmentalize it and realize that's all they want to know, that's all they care to know, and it's cool, but it can't become everything.
It can't consume you fully.
Because as soon as it does, then it eats you alive and it becomes your whole identity. And then you're not going to be happy with yourself, because like you said, then you're living a lie.
Yeah.
Part of you is an artist, it's a singer, it's a great way to express yourself. But on the
Right.
other end, you are also a human being who probably likes to work out, likes to watch sports, likes to do,
Yeah.
whatever it is. So you just have to learn to compartmentalize all these different things.
Yeah. And I won't lie, like that's been hard for me. Like if I'm out with friends or, like I haven't seen some of my friends in a while. Like I remember one time it was my friend's birthday and I went to like a popular spot in Charleston, and I had a couple people coming up to me, like talking to me about music, and I was just like, I love that, and I love, love, love people, and I love talking to people and socializing and meeting new people. But in that moment, I felt more inclined to talk to them instead of being present with my friends, and it was like, oh, I have to do this. Like I need to do this because what if they think I'm rude, or what will this do? And it's like, no, I can set boundaries on myself and on, my work and my art, and not let it completely burn me out, because I think then it's like, do I even enjoy it at that point? If it's like, if I'm catering to everything around it, like when do I get to, like, you know, have that boundary to like be me and not be Kat Blasco the singer. So you're right, it's just a balancing act, and it's really, really hard to figure it out, and you can figure it out sometimes and lose it and have to figure it out all over again. So, but then again, I know neither of us would trade what we do for the world. So
There's more pros and cons, and then especially her, she's been blowing up. She's gained what, 90,000 followers.
yay.
So,
Awesome.
but
Oh yeah.
and she's kind of going through too. Just all of a sudden the rise in like hateful comments,
Yeah.
and it's baffling.
And thankfully, like, I mean, we both of us always say that, like, everything that you did growing up, or if you were ever like bullied or like people said rude things to you, like it just kind of like prepared you for where you're going to be at in life now. And like the same thing that you said, when people like shared all these stories, I mean, I've also had a couple people that like have DM'd me like their life story, that like seeing my videos makes them get out of bed. And I'm like, that's why, like, I'm like, that is why we do this, that is why we're in this industry. It's not
Right.
the hate or whatever, it's because there's people like this that literally have nothing else in life. And it, like, that's kind of what
Yeah.
we try and like always to stick to, because like people are always going to hate and whatnot, and
Yeah.
it's just a lot.
But you get those little reminders at the perfect moments. That's what I think that's how you know what you're doing is worth it, and
Yeah.
and you're on the right path. Is like those people will tell you that you're making them smile, you're making them happy, you're helping them get through something, and that means more than any hateful comment than anyone could ever say. Like,
and
beyond.
it's like I always, like, I could tell you exactly when this person said this really nice thing, and I could never sit there and tell you exactly when this person said this hateful thing, because I don't stick it enough. So it's
Right.
like, it's nice when your brain can be like, this is what we're focusing on.
Yeah, you kind of just have to like choose.
Yeah.
But it does get hard, and it gets consuming sometimes. It really does. And sorry, what were you
No,
gonna say? No, I was.
no, I was saying because like I joking because for some reason all of the Shivers videos were popping off, so I just kept posting them, me line dancing to Shivers for months. And keeps getting views, so why not? But I also get a lot of hate for it. And there was one night that it kind of got to me a little bit because it's just frustrating because I view TikTok as an entertainment app, and I post things to try and entertain people. And one night it got to me, and then the next morning I woke up, like you said, this police officer. He just wrote me a novel, and he just was like, man, he goes, I've buried so many friends in the past 12 months. And he goes, just seeing all your Shivers videos just brings such a, smile to my face and makes me happy, because I want to learn the dance and I want to do a video with you one day. And I'm just like, he sent me that at like 2 a.m. And so I went to
Shut
bed.
up. I'm literally about to cry. That is so
Saying,
sweet.
no, me too. Like I went to bed literally that night, and I was like, man, it's like TikTok can be really frustrating sometimes with all this like hate and everything. And I woke up and I literally like about cried reading this message from this guy, and I'm like you don't know who's watching your videos. That's why it pays behind it. It pays just to like kind of be real with people too. Just try and connect.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's insane. I mean, that literally like makes me tear up a little bit just because it's like, I don't know. It's difficult because it's like a catch 22. Like you're putting yourself out there because you enjoy it, but also you want to bring joy to people, you know? Like music means so much to me because every single thing I've gone through in my life, I would not have been able to get through without music, like hands down. And when I'm ever feeling like really low, I try to remind myself of that, but like sometimes that just doesn't work, you know? Like sometimes you're just in it, and you know, I have no shame in saying that like I'm going to therapy, like I'm that's what works, that's what's worked for me in the past, and it works for me now, and it's helpful for me to talk through, you know, what I'm going through so I don't get to a really low place, and you know, kind of forget who I am. And I just I'm gonna this is like all very new, but I really, really do want to start getting involved in, you know, mental health awareness as much as I can. And I want to get involved in organizations. And so that's kind of like next steps for me because I've just seen the impact that, like the small impact that I had with my small platform, you know, and what I could have if I, you know, who I could help, and what I could do. And I don't know. It just that's just what's been on my mind recently, and kind of what I want to do moving forward.
No, I think that's
Yeah,
great.
that's awesome.
It takes more courage to be honest and say that you need help or need someone else's opinion or thoughts than it does to just go one by yourself.
Yeah, and it's hard to be real, especially when like you're in this platform, you know, you're always dressed up, you always look good, you're always, you know, looking like you're living the best lives, and for people to know that like it's okay to not be okay. Like
Right.
and it's
Right.
such a big thing, like that a lot of people just don't think is real.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
and I realized because I shared with you earlier, I was bullied a lot in high school, and it puts you on an island, and you feel
Yeah.
like you're alone, and that nobody else has gone through what you've gone through. And then the older you get, you realize, hey, everybody has gone through something or currently is going through something. Um, so it's okay to not be okay, and once you realize it's okay to feel those emotions, then it becomes easier to deal with them. And
Right.
we would never appreciate the good things that happen in our lives unless bad things happen. Unfortunately, it's a part of life.
Yeah.
Yes.
We just have to accept that bad things are going to happen to us. Life
Yeah.
is unpredictable. And once you accept that, then you can handle the down
Yeah.
moments easier.
Yep.
And like, boy, does it suck. You know what I mean? Because like, I think for me, my least favorite thing is being sad. I hate being sad. I like to be the one that my friends feel like they can always come to. And when I feel like my cup is empty, I feel like I'm not being that good friend. So that has been difficult for me, to kind of work through this season of my life. It's just being like, no, I really like, my cup is empty. I can't pour any more into yours right now, as much as I want to. But it leaves you feeling a little bit hopeless, and like you're not really serving your purpose, or doing what you think, you know, you're supposed to do for your people. But it is nice when, you know, other people wrap their arms around you, and they're like, it's okay, you don't have to be the one to always be there for people. You can, you know, lean your head on someone else's shoulder, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. It's hard. What? Why are you staring at me?
You're pretty.
Oh, because he loves you.
I do love her a lot.
Yeah.
No, she's made a big impact in my life.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot that I go through that a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah.
And so she was one of the first people I was really, really able to rely on. And,
Yeah.
for anybody who's new, who hasn't heard our story, I don't know, Kat, you probably haven't, but I met her back in May of last year. I went down to Fort Lauderdale, and we just like shook hands and talked a little bit, and
That was
there.
it. I left. I went home. I was like, he's flirting with girls, and he went on the dance floor, and I went out the door. I did not say bye, nothing.
Really?
Well, she found me on TikTok and started liking all my photos.
Well,
This is some tea. I need to hear.
well.
I need to hear more.
Yeah,
This
she
is
started liking all my
amazing.
photos or my
You
videos.
missed a step.
What did I miss?
I saw him with my friends on the beach, and I was like, why is this guy that I saw in the bar last night on the beach with my friends? I was like, that's so weird. He was just some random guy that walked into the bar. And then, yeah.
So, yeah. And then she found my account, and I was like, well, are you just going to like all of them? And then became friends. But I met somebody not long after and started dating them all summer. And then that's that, fortunately didn't work out. It was unfortunate time, but fortunately now, I'm much happier. But she was just really there for me, and
Yeah.
she's always just been there for me as a friend and somebody to rely on and somebody you can count on who
Right.
builds you up and supports you. And like we talked about earlier with relationships, if the person you're dating is not supporting you and making you feel the best about yourself and is not wanting you to chase your dreams, then it's more than likely not the right person.
Yeah. Like the people, when you're doing anything in life, I mean, but especially for me, I kind of took this early on, and I was like, I have to surround myself with people who care about me. Like, I just have to. I can't risk, for me, losing people is really, really hard. Losing friendships is hard because I really, really do my best to nurture the friendships that I have and the connections and relationships that I have. And so, that was like advice my dad gave to me early on. He was just like, you need to really, really be careful about the people that you have in your circle and make sure that they care about you and they are for you. You know what I mean? And I mean, that's just, I've stuck to that, and it's important. It's really important. Also, I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
How many videos did you like?
Oh my God, I don't even know. I don't remember. We had an entire conversation recently about, he's like, well, who messaged who first? And I was like, I don't know. And so then he went back and he saw all of this, and I'm like, I don't know. But when you follow people and then next thing you know, your For You
Girl,
page
no shame. I would do the same thing. That's why I'm laughing.
But like, I don't know. I probably liked like 10 of them, if I'm not gonna lie.
10? Are you kidding me? It was at least 30 to 50. Don't even
No
play.
way there was that many.
She was sending a message. I think you're cute.
She was shooting her shot. We love to see it.
But I'm pretty sure there was a point where I started going through his page because I was curious. I'm like, who is this person? And then I saw these videos of him picking up girls and like spinning them in circles, like whatever that thing that he did for a little while before Shivers. Yeah. And I think I liked one of them, and I was like, oh crap, I just liked one of his videos from like a while ago. And then I was like, I'll just blame it on the I'm just gonna
go like all of them now that I did.
So now it's fine.
By the way, totally random. Somebody said that me and you look related, Kat. So
wait, really?
I guess you're my sister now. You got like
I really do think it's our head shape. I was just thinking this. Like, do you see it though?
Yeah, maybe we just need to put some long hair on. Let's find an app we can put your hair on my face and do a little makeup on.
I'm gonna do it later because I have one. I'm gonna do
it. I would love to see this. Yeah, somebody said we have the same face. Yeah, text that to me whenever you. I would love to see it.
That's hilarious. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, our head is shaped the exact same way.
But back to your point though, because I think it was a great topic. Yeah. Where not only do they care about you, you also need to find people who have similar goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if people, you are pushing yourself. Like, I think the most beautiful thing you said earlier was you said that you don't like flying, which I feel you on that. I hate flying too.
It's scary.
I love it.
But the only way to better yourself and further is to put yourself in uncomfortable situations.
Right.
You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Yeah. And unfortunately, there are a lot of talented people out there, but very few people are willing to put themselves in uncomfortable situations.
Right.
And then when you do start to put yourself in that and you actually start to get some success from it, then that's where the hate and resentment starts to come from other people, is because they're like, well, I'm more talented than her or X, Y, and Z, and that might be true, but you're the only one putting in the effort. And that's what separates people from being successful and not successful. Mm-hmm. And, when you like my example was, I didn't have much money growing up. And whenever I was like 16, 17, I made friends with all these golfers, and I'm going to their houses, and they're in these like ritzy estates and all this stuff. And I'm just
Right.
looking at them, and instead of being resentful and jealous, I just looked at them and I said, I want this one day. And
Right.
fortunately, I've done well for myself now. But I was like, I got to put in this work, and being around them made me realize, like, hey, like I wasn't there yet, but I was still pursuing that goal.
Right.
And when you're around people who are more successful than you, then it gives you more of an incentive to push yourself, and you're going to learn new things. You can always learn something new.
Absolutely.
And if you're not learning, then what are you around people for?
But I really think that is everything. Like everything you just said is you have two options in life. You can play the comparison game, or you can be like, how can I be better? How can I get to that level? You know what I mean? I think one thing for me is thank God, I've never been a jealous person. I'm very glad I didn't get that trait, but I've also just I've had friends that struggle with it, and it's I mean, it could be debilitating. Like it can be really, really hard for them, to compare themselves to other people. And I've noticed in my, music careers, like, oh my gosh, like how did she get that? Like, I want that, and it's like, okay, Kat, you can't do that. Like, you just need to get up tomorrow and you need to work harder. You know what I mean? You need to do something different. You need to, break out of your comfort zone. You know what I mean? It's like, never hate on people for doing something, even if you want that thing. You know what I mean? Like cheer them on, be happy for them, and step it up if that's what you want. You know what I mean? Because I mean, all of the industry, it's hard. It really is. Not everyone is gonna quote unquote make it, but it's kind of like how you measure success.
Yes. But somebody else's success doesn't take away from yours.
No, and it all depends. Like it's all like, like everybody grows in their own ways and everybody has something different to put out in the world. And like, especially when you're saying about keeping your circle small and whatnot, like you do, because it's hard. I mean, you're in a world that's just everybody's trying to use everybody. And when you finally get those couple of people that are like, no, I'm here for you. If you didn't sing, if you didn't get big, if you didn't that they are still going to be in your life
no matter
and
what.
that's like,
right.
Yeah, that is all that matters.
It's a crazy feeling too, because I'm getting ready to make the move to Nashville soon, and I'm just like, I think that's part of the reason that I've been really, really struggling recently, is just the thought of leaving, my friends, my support system here in Charleston. I know that like we're gonna be friends forever, but it's a really hard. It's scary. It's super scary to think about, those possibilities of like meeting people that aren't for you, and getting, tied up with people who don't really care about you, and getting lost. And that is a huge fear of mine, because I really, really do hold myself true to like being who I am, and being a good person. So yeah, I'm deathly terrified right now moving to
Well, you're right. Problem is most relationships are transactional. Especially when you move there, it's a dog eat dog world. Everybody's gunning for the same thing.
right.
So if they think that they can be friends with you or use you to benefit their own lives, then they're going to. Unfortunately, that's something that you're just going to have to realize, that this is what's going to happen when I get there. I'm just going to have to deal with it when it comes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'll probably be calling you guys a lot.
Please do.
Please.
Well, I told you, because there's no books. There's no book that tells you, hey, when you get X number of TikTok followers and you're getting this number of comments every single day, and this happens to you on Friday nights, like this is how you should handle it. And there's no, at the time, maybe there is podcasts about it or YouTube videos. I don't know. And I didn't have any friends who had more followers than I did at the time, so I'm like,
right.
how do I
what is happening?
yeah, what's going on? And so for me, any of my friends that have gained a following, and even her now, and and you're chasing your careers, like I can walk you through those emotions of what it's like when someone wants to talk to you, but then you realize of like, hey, they weren't really my friend. They just wanted to try and get to know me because I know somebody else, or because I'm just a singer, or because I have a following. That's the only reason and they want to be on your page. That's the hard part of walking yourself through all of that, and
Yeah.
it tells you what to look for even.
I think one of the hardest things for me was when I started my music, when I wrote Cliche Country Song and I announced randomly, that I was going to be putting a song out there. I think a lot of people were like, what? Like, what is she doing? And like, there was a lot of judgment. And that's why I moved out of my hometown. And I moved to Charleston because obviously Charleston's like home to me at this point. I love Charleston. I love the music scene. I love the creative scene in general. I think that it's amazing. And I had someone comment on the iTunes, like Cliche Country Song iTunes thing, and it was like on my song, and was like, "Give it up, girl." Like, just give it up. And I was like, oh, that hurts so bad. Like, it crushed me, but you can only let it crush you for a moment. And you can't let someone's, like, hidden name stop you from doing what you love. You know what I mean? Because like, no one said that's my face. You know what I mean? Like, literally no one.
No.
But
So
it's hard.
9 times out of 10, it's always user 2429.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're garbage. Quit now.
Just stop it. Cut it out. It's like, who are you?
But that's a great point. And I was just talking. We were on Facebook with one of her friends earlier, and I was talking about that because nobody's ever once come to my face and been like, "Oh, dude, you stink at dancing, and you just need to quit." And I think this about you, and I'm like, even the people from my bar who comment rude stuff to me on TikTok, they walk right by me, don't say it. I'm like,
don't say it. Yeah.
No, so it's like this disconnect between reality and social media, and it's very interesting because it's like, okay, maybe they're just having a bad day, and they see you having fun on social media, and they need to try and tear you down and it's sad.
But that was but you're right. Like, that was my point in like wanting to post what I posted, because it's like there is a huge disconnect, and like whatever I can do as a human being and an artist and someone who cares about people who are going through it, like, to kind of not have that disconnect, where we can actually be real for a moment and talk about things that are hard and get support from people that literally look at your posts on a daily basis. It's like, why would we not use that tool to our advantage in moments where we're feeling so down?
Yeah.
Well, and it's the truth, like, and it's in every, like, any even if you don't have a lot of followers or whatever, like, in any big moment or limelight moment in your life, like, there's people that just aren't good. Like, there's people that just really, like, they're just there to tear you down and they don't care. And it's like, like, going back to like the whole depression and everything, like, it's the truth about life. Like, you just, and a lot of people think that they're alone and that you're not allowed to be with anybody else. And like, I was also a theater kid, so
Yay.
But like, inside on my life, like, tomorrow is actually one of the hardest days for me. It's an anniversary of a very bad moment in my life.
I'm so sorry.
And when that stuff happened, so like, it was big. Like, it was a mass shooting. And so in that moment, like, I had a limelight moment where the world hated you. Like, the world, like, they didn't care. They told you it was fake. Somebody wanted to pray the worst on you, that it should have been you, that this, like, all of these things, that it's like, it's just a bad reality. And it's like, but again, like, you either take that moment and you decide either I'm going to play the victim my entire life, or you decide that I'm going to move forward and I'm going to be the best that I can possibly be for those that can't. And it's like, I think that's what separates, and it makes you realize, like, no matter what you go through, that it makes you realize, like, for me, like, I can always tell when I first meet somebody if they have a good vibe or not. And then, then if you're like, okay, maybe, you give them at least 2 months and like, if they're really a good person or not. And so that's why it's like that whole circle thing, like, it is so important to keep, like, good.
I just guess it's because I'm pissed off right now that the fact that she's sitting here opening up to people about, she was involved in a school shooting, what, 4 or 5 years ago, and she's
Five
opening up
years
about that,
tomorrow.
and y'all are gonna come in here and mock her for saying like too much. It's pathetic. Like it's genuinely pathetic.
Yeah.
Some of y'all really need to go like seek therapy for real.
Like we're talking about therapy.
We're talking about therapy. It's like go.
Cool.
It's just it's ridiculous.
But it just makes it it makes those moments very, very important that if you either take one route or you take the other.
Well, I'll definitely be reaching out to you tomorrow, and I'm so sorry. I know that's like I actually don't know, but
Good.
I could only imagine, what you're going through.
Yeah, but
and also I think it's like I think something that gets lost too is like it's okay to take a step back away from social media if you feel like it's too much. You know what I mean? Like even as an artist, like we see huge artists doing that. It's like just you can take that moment and take a step away and focus on yourself and focus on, your person or focus on whatever's happening in your life and not feel like you have to stay relevant, especially if you're getting hate like that. And because it's not healthy. It's just not.
It's not, and it tears you down. Like it makes you lower into this spot that like you don't even want to be in because people just want to do anything and everything to tear you down, and it's insane. I mean, there was like, and it was crazy because like I met a lot of celebrities because of it, and that like came in, and it's like it was sad because it was like you would never want to be involved like in our theater program or in this and that had this not happened, and then on the other end it's like okay, you're nice, so it's like in every world people that are big, small, famous, like it's just
right.
There's always the bad people.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I think it's great you're being open with people because I think it's a great way to connect and let people know that you are a real person. Like we said earlier, when you're up on stage singing, or they people look at your Instagram, they're gonna think that hey, this girl's got everything going for her. Life must be great. But then they realize, well, hey, when someone in your position can struggle also, then it's okay for them to struggle also. And I think probably going to give them a lot of courage to be okay with themselves, because like we said earlier, the hardest part in life is when you're going through something is you feel like you're alone and that you're on an island.
Right.
I think it's great, and
and I want to thank you guys for giving me this platform to speak about it and talk and wanting to talk about it, because I know usually when you do podcasts and stuff like that, they usually just this is just it's refreshing. It's definitely needed, and I think we're the generation of mental health awareness, and I think we're going to change the world by having conversations like this. And I just appreciate the both of you for having me on to talk.
We'll always be here to do it. Whenever you want to go.
So I'm going to call you guys out and be like, could she stop calling us?
No, never.
You can call us anytime.
Yeah. We will always be here.
You guys are awesome. Seriously.
But I think it's a great way for people to connect with you, because there's so many great artists out there, and you're incredible yourself. You have an amazing voice. But how can you connect with fans?
Right.
The best way, if you can be real and let people genuinely love you, because if they start to love who Kat Velasco is, then they're going to care about your singing.
Right. And I think we talked about it a little bit earlier on the phone, but when I chose to release the song, I was going to release Let It Ride kind of summertime. And I was like, something's just pushing me to release it in February. I don't know why. So I have it. It's coming out this Friday. It's my newest single, and it speaks volumes to what I'm going through right now. And it's kind of crazy because obviously it wasn't planned. What'd you say?
I said it's a very beautiful song, by the way. I appreciate you sending it to me. I really enjoy it. I genuinely enjoy your music. Like, you have an absolutely amazing voice. It really stands out. It's really strong. And you have a lot of great songs already, and I'm sure whether it's a song you've already written or a song you're about to release soon, one of them is going to connect with a lot of people. I don't have any doubt that you're going to be very well known one day.
Thank you. I got a huge compliment from one of the producers I work with in Nashville when we were kind of going over some of the songs I'm going to do when I go to record in March. And he was just like, we want you to do more of like a Miranda Lambert vibe for some of these songs because we feel like you have a voice that can tell a story that can reach a person. And that was like the biggest compliment I've ever gotten in my life, like for singing, because I was just like, that's why I do this in the first place. So for someone of that level and that caliber to like see that and want to push forward in that, it's like, wow, it's really amazing, and I'm super excited for it. But thank you for all of your kind words, for having me on. It's been awesome. I literally could sit here and talk to you guys all night.
Oh,
so could we.
Certainly do it again.
Oh yeah.
Well, is there anything else you would like to talk about tonight?
I don't think so. I think I was just reading some of these comments and I'm like, all right, well, I just appreciate you guys, and I hope that this reached somebody, and I think more conversations like this in the future will do a lot of good, and I thank you guys so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on, and love talking to you, and I'm sure we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, bye guys.
All right, bye, Kat.
Okay, there we go. I was like,